Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You know, Commissioner Hassel gets on my case if I don't start at 9. So it is 9:01. I'm sorry, Commissioner, we are 1 minute late. Let's blame Mike Wild for that. He's everybody else does. All right, we're going to officially call to order. And Diane, I'll ask you to do a roll call for us.
Commissioner Ashworth,
Here.
Commissioner Banks,
Here.
Commissioner Hassler,
Here.
Commissioner Thompson, Commissioner Wild.
Here.
Great. I'm going to ask Lieutenant Rodriguez to lead us in the pledge.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Diane, do we have anything for open discussion? Okay, I see we do have a swearing in this morning of one of our Washington University police officers. See here? Yes. Oh, there he is. Please come forward, sir. As I find my, Diane, I'm looking for my swearing script. I'm sorry, one moment, sir.
Be careful they don't mistake you for a student over there.
It's Daniel Ward, right? Yes. All right, great. They have a script they want me to follow, and if I go off script, then the chief gives me an evil eye. So I can't do that. Look in my folder. All right, Daniel, we are ready now. Would you raise your right hand, please? And repeat after me. I, Daniel Ward, do solemnly swear that I am a citizen of the United States, that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, the state of Missouri, and the charter and ordinances of St. Louis County, that I will faithfully adhere to the regulations provided in the rules and procedures for deputization as adopted by St. Louis County, and that I will faithfully demean myself as a deputized officer of the St. Louis County Police. So help me God. Thank you very much. And I have one other quick note here. As a deputized officer for St. Louis County, your authority is restricted to the protection of persons and property on the Washington University campus. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Glad to have you on board.
You stand up. Congratulations.
Okay.
Right. I'm sorry. Congratulations. Got anybody here with you? No? Your lieutenant. Thank you guys for coming, okay? All right. Good luck to you.
If I could just read the chief's writing, that'd be great.
I just passed it on to the commissioner in reference to the, maybe a moment of silence for the 2 St. Louis City police officers that died out on duty yesterday. One was involved in a car accident and one was passed of cancer. I think we have Mitch McCoy here from St. Louis City representing them.
I think that would be very appropriate that we do so now.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Let's observe a moment of silence for those officers. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sure, Chief. We have some service stars.
Yes, sir.
We love giving those out.
You got them.
All right. Our vice chair is going to assist, and we're going to tag team this thing this morning.
Our chairman forgot his glasses.
Teach
you to throw me
would
under
you,
the bus.
would you remind him? Would you remind him about what happens to snitches?
This is always the highlight of being on this board, is to recognize our great officers. So we're going to start with a 30-year award, and that would be for Police Officer Christopher Pignataro. And I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not going to tell you what they just said they call you around here.
Congratulations to you, sir. Thank you.
Wow, you started right out,
He's a
yeah.
young 52.
You'll make it to 40. And in the Division of Criminal Investigation, Police Officer Mark Goals.
Mark.
Maybe out there. Did I say that right?
We're looking for him.
He likes to make an appearance.
For 30 years of service, we'll hand deliver his.
He's coming, I think. There he is.
Right. He likes to make an appearance.
There you
How
go.
you doing, Mark? They got you up there, sir.
There you are, sir. For dramatic effect. I get it. Congratulations.
Thank you. In the division of, this is for 25 years of service, the Division of Patrol, Lieutenant Edward McGee.
Morning. Congratulations.
Chief, you gonna ask if they have anybody here?
I'm
They
sorry.
have anybody here?
I'm sorry. Got anybody here, Lieutenant?
Next, also at 25 years, Police Officer Scott Russell.
Jacket too, though.
Anybody here with you, Scott? Just yourself? Well, we're happy to have you here, okay? All right.
Our final 25 years, Mr. Mike Perriman, Michael Perriman.
Michael?
Make sure he gave you the right one.
Make sure you get the right one.
For 20 years in the Division of Patrol, Police Officer James Mullins.
James? Congrats, man.
Also from the Division of Patrol, Sergeant Catherine Steyer.
I know, I know.
Congrats, Sergeant. In 20 years, Division of Operational Support, Captain Aaron Schaefer. And 20 years from our police crime laboratory, Mr. Andrew Weston. Chief, can I ask if they have anybody here? Andrew, do you have anybody here with you today? Just? Sergeant Steyer, we didn't ask you. Just him. Now moving on to 15 years from the Division of Patrol Special Response Unit, we have Police Officer Christopher O'Fallon.
Everybody's out in the hall.
And from our North County precinct for 15 years of service, we have Sergeant Stephen Owens.
Steve?
You have anybody here with you?
You got anybody with you?
No, I didn't. Chief does it every other time. Staying with the 15 years from DCI, Police Officer Michael Nicholas.
Christ, Mike.
Don't
Yeah,
forget
don't
that.
forget that. You guys are all dressed pretty sharp.
I know. And also from the crime lab, oh, I'm sorry.
Anybody with you?
Smart move.
And also from our police crime laboratory, we have Ms. Kelly Picorni. Did I say that right?
All right. Good job. That's why he's reading.
This is the most team building unit in the whole department. It's crime lab. So congratulations, Kelly. She's got everybody here with her.
All right.
Moving to 10 years, Division of Patrol, Police Officer Mitchell Cooper.
Mitch, congratulations. All right.
Field training officers or corporals.
Mitch, you know hats aren't required any longer, right?
That's so good.
You never know.
Rocket science out here.
Came hat in
Anybody
hand,
with you?
Literally hat in hand.
Anybody with him? Oh,
Mitch, you got anybody with you?
It's my hat. This is hat.
No?
And our final today is 5 years in our police crime laboratory, Miss Emily Kaminsky.
Lab's cleaning up today.
These plaques.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for your help, Mr. Wild. Appreciate that. You did an excellent job. Chief, I think you have some commendations for us next.
Yes, sir, I do. Also Joshua Lashley. Josh is with the Metrolink. Josh, congratulations. Here.
Berkeley,
We're
familiar
gonna
with our
move this way.
strategic plan. As external and internal
Here. It's yours, man.
communication. Media for the county PD.
Great. Captain, you're up, sir.
Commissioners, Chief, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be up here and help present this award to Officer Lasley, who was on patrol on December 28th of last year when he heard a call come over the radio that no officer wants to hear. An officer in need of aid had come out from the Ferguson Police Department. The officer in Ferguson was on the scene of a shootout between two vehicles. It was ongoing and needed help. Officer Lasley responded there. Upon his arrival, he met up with the Ferguson officer who advised that one of the occupants of one of the vehicles had fled on foot from the area and the other vehicle was still occupied. Officer Lasley approached the vehicles, cleared them, found a deceased individual in one car and the other car unoccupied. He then got a brief description of the suspect that had fled, began a neighborhood canvass in an area he wasn't familiar with. While doing so, he contacted one of the residents, said, "Did you see anybody dressed in all black run through the yards recently?" And they pointed down the street to a couple of houses and said they thought they saw an individual go back there. So as Officer Lasley responded to that area, a highway patrol officer was also nearby. He signaled to him to assist him in the search of the backyard. As they entered the backyard of the residence, suspect came out of the bushes, still brandishing the weapon, and fled on foot. Officer Lasley gave chase, challenged the suspect, who dropped the weapon, was ultimately taken into custody. Officer Lasley's willingness to assist another agency, his leadership skills in organizing the searches of the cars, the yard, and everything, and his courage to chase an armed individual that just committed a homicide is definitely deserving of this award. So congratulations.
Meet the board. Josh, can anybody here with you today?
I have my wife and my youngest daughter with me.
Right there.
Oh,
There you go.
all right.
Police Officer Louis Isringhouse and Police Officer John Warner. Louis, it's yours, sir. Here, let's step over here to the center. Come on up.
Chief doesn't want me in the picture.
Yeah. Let's see, did he just
It's
exercise the
yours.
picture?
Stand.
He just got us out the picture.
All right.
Let's photobomb.
All right, thank you. You gotta stand over here. Captain, you're up.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, board members, chief, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, I'd like to direct your attention to the actions of Officer Isringhausen and Officer Warner on November 10th, 2024. While they were assigned to the City of Jennings precinct, they received a radio assignment in reference to a suspicious auto behind a vacant residence in the 5300 block of Hamilton. When Officer Isringhausen arrived, he contacted two individuals and two vehicles in the rear of the residence. The individuals immediately fled on foot. Officer Isringhausen gave chase and put out a radio description or radio broadcast and a description of the individuals. He ended up taking one individual into custody after a short foot pursuit, and the individual happened to be armed with a pistol. Officer Warner responded as the assist, and after a brief pursuit, took the second individual into custody. The individual that Officer Isringhausen took into custody had recently been arrested for murder, and the individual that Officer Warner took into custody had in possession of himself a large amount of fentanyl. It was discovered that both vehicles were recently stolen, and the individuals who stole these vehicles, obviously the individuals that were arrested were responsible for stealing the vehicles. So the officers did an outstanding job on getting two armed and dangerous felons off the street. Your actions reflect highly not only upon yourself, but on the department as well. Congratulations, gentlemen, on an outstanding job.
Brett, Warren, you got anybody here with you today?
No, I'm solo today.
Solo today?
Yeah,
Thank
a
you.
bigger
All
one.
right,
We need a bigger boat.
Chief, we're gonna keep him on the
there you go.
Agenda every month.
Lou, you got anybody here with you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I got my godmother here, my mother, my aunt, my beautiful girlfriend, or fiance, sorry. I knew I was gonna do it.
She's both, man.
Yeah.
Guys want to stand up?
It's new.
Thank you guys for being here. Charlie's on my case about something.
Okay.
Still up?
Yes,
Yes.
it's still up.
I have a promotion to make today,
Big one.
a big one. So back in 2014, when we were dealing with the Ferguson unrest, one of the things that the police department was getting killed on was social media. We didn't have a social media footprint at that time. There were a lot of stories coming out from the protesters about what we were doing and what we weren't doing. And as soon as that was over, the first thing that we did was we wanted to hire somebody that had some background in social media. With that, we did some research, we did some interviews, and we hired Vera Clay. Since she has come on, our social media footprint has just skyrocketed. And it's something that we cannot do without, something we shouldn't have been doing without at that time, but it has progressed since then. Tracy Panner was promoted, how long ago, Tracy? In May. And Vera worked under her. Vera interviewed for the position, and my understanding was that she blew the interview out of the water. She did. So with that, I'm promoting Vera. Come on up. Here, you over here. That's yours. And I forgot to mention, she can sing too.
Sings a little bit too, yeah.
Barry, you want to meet the board?
Yeah. You're not used to this.
We were gonna sing to you.
Congratulations again. And Vera has helped me 1,000 times for balling in the loo. She does everything from that to press stuff. So she has certainly been a crutch for all of us. And I know Brian did the same thing when he was chair. So thank you, Vera. We rely upon you and we'll continue to do so.
Vera, who's here with you? I recognize two people right off the bat.
Boy. My husband, Alan, is here.
Alan?
My daddy.
Daddy?
My daddy.
Pastor Kelly is here. But also, there are 5 public information officers from across the region in the building. So if something goes down today, we got you guys. So thank you so much. If you guys could stand up. St. Charles County, Barry Bells, Steve Michael from Florissant and Bassman. Oh, Jefferson County, almost forgot, I'm sorry. Matt Toppin, Jason Bryce, who helped me out on the fire explosion scene. I think that was the first time we met, and it was like, well, I guess we got to do this. Matt, Mitch, I almost called you Matt. Mitch from St. Louis City and my girl Anita from St. Louis City. So these are all the people in the region who do this public information work. So thank you to Lieutenant Panis. And I guess Captain Shelman is here, and Lieutenant Granda, and Lieutenant Sean McGuire, who are my supervisors, and just everybody else who just was like, we just came to this meeting for you. Thank you very much.
Oh, congratulations. Well, it says a lot that these folks all came to see you this morning, Vera.
For sure.
It really says a lot from all over, and thank you all for all coming. Chief, anything else before we jump into it?
That is it, sir.
Okay. We are about to get into what we call the nuts and bolts of our meeting. Everyone is certainly welcome to stay because it's riveting.
But you probably
But we do give you like a minute head start if you want to take off. We're taking names of those who leave.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Doing fine. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great daughter, man. Great daughter. You have an outstanding wife, man.
Thanks for coming out here.
All
Thank you
right.
for coming.
Thank you guys for being here.
For support.
Okay.
Always saying, look at what Captain's doing.
Corporal, thanks for coming, man. All right. Be good.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Josh, we'll see
Thanks
you
for coming.
guys, okay? Good meeting you, okay? All right.
Really says a lot.
Well, you should clear the house, huh?
Ladies, get up there and do some DNA for us, okay?
I've not seen that before. I think that is so cool.
Congrats,
All of
man.
those
Thanks for
farms
coming.
together.
Appreciate it.
Isn't that
Thank you.
Awesome.
Never seen her without a smile
being
and a
here.
bounce in her step.
Thank you. All right, man. You got some making up to do, dude.
I know.
Thanks for
Hope
being
it's
here.
good weather.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Not 90 degrees.
I
Sorry
know,
about the
I know.
box, man. I'll talk to the chief a little later today.
Is
Anything we can do, let
Captain.
us know, okay?
I told him he's listening.
Deputy Chief going to ride 100
Take care,
miles
man.
on your
All right,
behalf?
Be good.
They didn't take my word for it.
There's a bike ride this weekend. He can't make it. We need to have a pinch hitter. So he suggested.
To believe me.
It's pretty flat until you get to the steep climb. It's about 1,500 feet over about a mile and a half. So it's about 22 degrees straight up.
Okay.
What were you trying to tell me?
Oh, no, the other officer, he had some people here too. He sat down right away.
Oh, okay.
There were two that you presented.
Chief, are you ready to roll? Ready to continue? Okay. Everybody, if we can, we're gonna get
You're up.
back together. It looks like we have the usual suspects left, as they say.
How you doing, man?
People who don't work for a living.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, you probably noticed
can't
a
close
big
the door.
difference
Only be
in the
quiet.
bottom line, if you looked at it. But there's a big difference because they changed the percentage for retirement on the 9/10 paycheck. So we have a surplus of about 100,000, better than the deficit, so. Our overtime, I upped it a little bit, probably about 4.2 million short. Retirement payouts are going to be 1.9 million short. We have 3 going September 1st, or went September 1st. I think that should be it. We haven't heard anybody else going, so I think it'll start again in January. Medical insurance is showing a surplus at this time, but rates do change in October. And then fuel, telephone, and vehicle maintenance all showing a surplus. And you asked me last month, what happens if we are short with the lag in salaries or fringes? It looks like we're going to be short in salaries. I talked to Paul Kreidler. I'm doing one more estimate after this next paycheck, which is next week. And then we have to do a letter to council asking for an emergency appropriation. So that's where that kind of stands. I'll know more if we did it or not next month. The 2026 budget is right now with Dr. Page, so we don't know anything on that. I know the chief presents on October 23rd to the council. And the ARPA funds, we spent 33.6 million, and we've been reimbursed 16.8. That's how much we submitted and been reimbursed. So that is all I have, unless you have any questions.
Good, sir.
Of course.
Oh.
It is yeah, thank you. It is nice to see a deficit go to a surplus. And no, it's still early. You also included at our request a little more detail by category or by unit. If we have questions around those, do we go directly to the unit head?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Or I did a little bit of investigation into some. I have asked for a little more detailed report so we can see what units and those different reasons of overtime, but go ahead and ask me.
We'll take it offline. That's all right. As long as we come to you. I wasn't sure whether we should go to you or whoever was the commander or the supervisor in charge of the different units. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
You're up.
Morning.
Reviewing August stats for everyone this morning. All right, so for the month of August, we received just one citizen complaint, which is now resulting in a 75% increase compared to this time in 2024. If you remember back in January, February, we started the year off with like 5 or 6 right off the bat. So those numbers have kind of leveled off as the year's progressing with just one last month.
internal investigation incidents. We received 8 last month, which results in a 29.7% increase. The majority of those were preventable motor vehicle accidents. Moving on, use of force, a pretty significant decrease compared to this time last year, 262. So over a 20% decrease compared to this time last year. And in a few moments, going over our arrest numbers for August, our arrests have actually increased, but we have a decrease in uses of force, which is a good thing. Department vehicle accidents, we had a 7.1% decrease compared to this time last year, so 79 total so far this year. Vehicle pursuits, we had 3 for the month of August, which is down 19% compared to this time last year. 68% of those are in North County and our Jennings precinct. Failure yields, those numbers are also down pretty significantly, almost by 30%. So last month we had 129. So any questions on that side before I move on?
Yes. So I'll save the bigger question for the end, but on the notable events, on the citizen complaints, internal investigations, thank you for context around why the internal investigations are up. Do you also measure at a different level that perhaps the board could see without getting too much in the detail, knowing the requirements that we have about maybe categories that those fall into? Both numbers are still high from what we would want to see, right?
Certainly look into doing that in the future. I'll give general breakdown for you at the start of the presentation. From talking to BPS, I talk to them fairly regularly about what they're seeing coming in, and there's no pattern, if you will. There's not like any training issues or anything that we can identify that needs to be, I guess, looked into further. A lot of those run the gamut to where as soon as a complaint comes into BPS, they're going to look into it regardless if it involves even one of our officers. So we get complaints sometimes from citizens, doesn't necessarily involve a county officer, but they will still look into that and then get them to the right department so that gets looked into further.
Captain, that's more helpful than, I mean, the numbers are extraordinarily helpful, right? They give us the flag, but what you just said is the context in which we want to look at this stuff, right? Are there increases in something we're doing well or something we're not doing well? Or that's really what we're trying to reinforce. Thank you.
Let's see, moving on. So that's the heat map for failure yields. That's pretty consistent month to month. And if you look at the left category, all the reds and oranges, most of those are taking place during those late evening, early morning hours. That's pretty consistent. 950 arrests for the month of August, 104 guns seized. And then there's been an increase in DWI numbers. That unit, Highway Safety, has 2 additional officers in there compared to prior months. Those numbers are starting to increase. So I think out of those 67 DWIs, 40% are from our Highway Safety unit. Crime data, crimes against persons. Overall, we're still continuing to enjoy that downward trend in most categories. Year to date, down 7.1%. Our homicide numbers, we had 24 year to date compared to 29 last year. I'll show you the infographic here in a moment, but any questions on that particular slide? So that's the infographic. So we've had 4 homicides in August that were in St. Louis County patrolled areas, 1 municipal homicide in the city of Northwoods that we investigated. And if you, I know I noticed or mentioned this last month, our clearance rate is still exceptional compared to the national average, so extremely high, which is fantastic work. Anything on that slide? Crimes against property, again, down in almost every major category. Robberies looks like it's very high, like a 500% change compared to this time last year, but those are very small numbers. Not to minimize the severity of that crime, but we've had 6 year to date compared to 1 last year. Anything? Crimes against society also down in almost every category. And the majority of those offenses are from self-initiated proactive police work where we're investigating that stuff and discovering that ourselves, not from direct calls for service. Calls for service. With the summer months coming to a conclusion, for the month of August, every precinct was above the moving average, which is to be expected. They're handling more calls for service. So quite a few North County precinct continues to lead that. Any questions on that side? Self-initiated calls for service. Most of the precincts continue to be above the moving average. So I think 6 of the 8 precincts. So even with more calls for service, our officers are still doing a lot of self-initiated activity out there. So you would expect that that would be the inverse, but 6 or 9 precincts continue to be above the moving average for self-initiated activity. Top calls for service, that's pretty consistent month to month also. Sick cases, alarms, and whatnot, continue to lead that for directed calls for service. And then self-initiated X patrols, traffic stops continue to lead that by a large margin compared to the next category, which is business checks. TSR data, also nothing of significance. It's pretty consistent month to month. Our bias-free policing committee will be meeting again for our Q3 in October to discuss this further, but there's been nothing, no outliers there. It's pretty consistent month to month. That is all I have, unless you have any other questions.
Questions?
Two, probably generally related. The first is the numbers we look at are generally not the physical numbers, but the slides we look at are the same slides we've looked at for 4.5 years. Are there other measures we should be taking under consideration to look at as time has evolved, right? 4.5 years might lead to a different way, to different things we should be looking at. What would your recommendation be of other things that the board might need to see? And you don't have to answer now, Captain, if you want to think about it.
I do appreciate that input, and I would say that since I've been in the office since May, that's something I've discussed with, Ally and Abby when it comes to the type of numbers we're providing to the board every month. And I would say, I would agree with you, there's probably other things we can start looking into. Because I would say month to month, there's not a whole lot of significant changes. There's nothing I can sit here and talk to you about, something you guys need to be made aware of because it's been so consistent. So unless there's like a pattern change, what we're seeing, I could see that we should probably develop different measures for you to.
Or maybe they're in addition, right? Maybe they're replacements, but it's not to say these aren't wrong. It's just, to your point, everything you said is probably what is prompting my question.
Absolutely. That's something we can look into. I can discuss with Chief Cox and Chief Gregory to see if you want to make changes on that.
Sounds great. And the second piece of that's probably more maybe my naive taste still around what we do. I look at all those numbers individually. You all see them in total in relation to what's going on. Are there societal trends that these may be precursors for, right? Okay, if this is happening, this is going on in society. Or if this is not happening, this should be going on, right? Is there just some other context in which we as a board should be looking at these?
That's a great question also. And I'd be the first to say that when it comes to trends in crime, whether they go up and down, there's a lot of, I would say, things that are within our control as a department, and then some that are out of control, not inside of our control. When it comes to here regionally, there's really nothing that we can identify that says this is causing this to go up or this is causing this to go down. I mean, my personal opinion would be whenever numbers are going down in a positive direction, we of course like that. And I think it has a lot to do with just our agency in general. We do more than the average department by actually doing our follow through. We don't just take police reports, we follow up on that, investigate it, and try to hold the individuals that make those numbers go up accountable by getting them in front of the justice system if they be arrested or whatnot. So I think just in general, the cooperation amongst our units and bureaus working together plays a role in making that go downwards. If they started to go upwards, of course, we try to identify trends to find out what's making that happen and to try to adjust course or whatnot. But that's a great question. As of right now, year to date, there's nothing we can pinpoint that says this is making that happen.
Okay, thank you. Part of it, go ahead. Sorry,
Well, I was
Tom.
going to say to follow up on that. Because it seems the trend has been going down nationwide. Right? And then you hear in the region. But to follow up on his point, is there anything unique to the St. Louis region that you can maybe point to, number one? And number two, is it possible, or not to add any work to anyone in that division, to see if there's a correlation between, the economy and the crime? I think intuitively we think that there is, but we don't really know. And I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, that's another good question. And same thing with like the job market. Jobs go up and down. Job availability goes up and down. It changes weekly, monthly. Just like crime stats change consistently. And sometimes the patterns align, sometimes they don't. So it's very difficult to, I like to say, economic differences. If there's job opportunities, hopefully crime goes down. But those are trends that I think over 5 and 10 years, you could probably take a look at and quantify that. But within like weeks and months, it's very difficult to say this is the trend that's happened last month, which caused this. But that is a great question.
This may be a loaded question right here, but this is something for all to consider. You don't even have to give me an answer today. But do you see any correlation or any advantage to the National Guard coming in to help you guys?
That'd be a question for me to answer right now.
Fair enough. Yeah, we don't want to open that can.
No, we don't, not
Try to
yet.
keep opinions away from us, so yeah.
And in
Sure.
regards to what the captain just reported, we would appreciate any information, just like, don't go anywhere yet. We appreciate any information from the board that you want to see. I know the numbers at time gets boring. I mean, not boring, but they're there, but that's what we have to report on every month. And I'm sure you want to see those numbers, but any things that you guys want to hear from us, give them to us. We'll get with the captain. We'll do research and analysis on it, and we'll come back with that information for you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Captain.
Lieutenant?
I can crack my head. There it is. We lost our cursor to the TV, I guess.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Going to cover the August report for Human Resources. I wanted to go over first the applications that we've received for August. You'll see the top bar, it's 51 is for August of this year, and last year we received 35 this time last year. So we've increased 46% for the applications thus far this year. Oh, sorry about that. My mouse is moving on it. For pro staff for August, we've received 196 this year compared to 81 last year. And I've said this for the last couple of months, but a lot of this is just the jobs that are out there right now. We see a lot of job applications that come in for the public safety dispatcher positions. We also had a pro staff crime scene investigator position that is open, that brings us a lot of applications. Now, there's not a lot of those jobs, but we do get a lot of applications for those jobs. So that's a 142% increase in applications received over last year.
Do they apply for a specific job each time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We, some do multiple jobs.
I was just gonna say, can we, if we don't have a spot for them in one area,
Correct. Some of
do
them
we talk to them about the others?
They do spread it out a little bit, and maybe apply for several at the same time. So our program, NeoGov, tracks that though. So we can kind of see what all they've put in for at what time. So,
Lieutenant, can I interrupt for a minute?
Yes, sir.
I heard Commissioner Wild's question a little differently. I apply for a particular role. You think that my background might be better for that role than the one I applied. Do we pass it over? And Commissioner, forgive me if I misunderstood, but I think that's what I thought I heard him ask.
That's a good question, sir. We actually, our recruiters do a really good job with this. We see that quite often where they call them and, hey, we saw that you did this. What is it that you want to do? And I'm seeing that your background is this. This might suit you better. So we can kind of steer them into the right spot, which we've done quite a bit. So I think that really helps us when it comes to retention. So Commissioner Ashworth, you had asked, so this is actually year-to-date 2025. From last year, you had asked for the year, not just a month. So for this year total, from January 1 to August 31, resignations thus far 21, and last year we had 27. Retirements are up, obviously, by a couple, which was something that, obviously, Terry Moran does her presentation in the beginning. She kind of knows when those are coming in with the paperwork that's turned in. Retirements are up 27 to 25. Pro staff resignations are down 29 compared to 33 last year. And then retirements are for pro staff 2 versus 4. So, it's just one of those things, sir. It's when people have their points, obviously we're seeing the retirements. those numbers work for them, and that's when they go. It's kind of one of those things that you try, but a lot of us work a certain point, and that's when we're going. So,
Lieutenant, thank you for following up on it. May I ask a question now in lieu of that? So when you put it up there this way, so numbers in the background, right? Don't hear those, but we have more people applying for jobs. We have resignations down. We have retirements basically flat. From where we come from, that would say that our fill rate, the number of positions that we have are filled at, I'm making a number up, 75%, whereas last year they've only been filled at 70%, if that concept makes sense. Do you know where we stand and where we stand year over year? And if you don't know now, that's fine. Don't expect you to know it, but the fill rate is important for us to see if we've got a fully staffed police department. No, we don't.
for just a number that is in my head, for instance, for everybody in the room, commissioners, for our commissioned police officers, if you go back to January 1 of 2024 to August 31st, we have hired 61 police officers. So when you look at resignations and retirements, take that to 48. So we're positive, but just a little bit. Now, I will tell you that 61 police officers is a lot of police officers to hire when you marry it with, for the bottom category, pro staff. We hired 118 in that same time period, and we've had 29 plus 2, so 31 retire or resign. So for everybody that controls or manages professional staff, we are up with those jobs. It's the police officers that are challenging with retirements and resignations. So we're up, but we also factor a lot of those numbers into recruit classes. So that's also an interesting part of the mathematics behind it. So we have 18 in the recruit class now. We have another class going in January. We have another class going in June. And then obviously for dispatchers, for instance, there's 3 dispatch academies for 2026. So things are trending in the right direction. It's just getting more commissioned police officers, more dispatchers, and we need security officers. So those are our biggest deficiencies right now if you look at the vacancy list.
Hasn't changed.
Correct. And so that's just when we're fighting retirements and the resignations, it's just always that battle. It seems like in most of your corporations and businesses, they're all in that same trend. It's a difficult time right now for retention. For our hiring, for commissioned, for 2025, we have this year 41 alone for commissioned police officers. We had 15 last year. When Director Wagner and I were looking at numbers, it was like, this can't be right. And they were right. Last year, I don't know what it was, but it was terrible. So we're up 173%, which is positive. For pro staff, 58 to 39. So we're up 49% from last year. We've definitely seen a jump in those jobs, which that helps because that takes our background investigators where we can just focus on those other 3 positions that I was telling you all about. For recruiting, I told everybody about the Class 212 that's currently in. They'll graduate in December. That'll be 18 people. They will be all the way through. Usually if they're at this point in training, they'll stay all the way. We have 2 experienced police officers starting this month. We have another in polygraph. Academy Class 213 is starting in January of 26. We have 3 confirmed, 9 in backgrounds. The double X is in testing. We have a lot in testing. We have at least 40 in testing right now. So I'm not even going to throw a number at what I'd like to see in Class 213, but it's bigger than most of these other classes that we've had recently.
We're willing to take your bet. I mean, the 5 of us wouldn't mind you putting a number out there.
30 and hope we get about 25 to 28 after it's all said and done. Week 1 through 3 can be a little bit of a challenge. I think Captain Rose probably seems like we always have 1 or 2 go. The Dispatch Academy, we have 8 dispatchers in training right now. That started Monday. And then we have 3 more classes in 2026. So that's promising. My final slide, I just want to point out the top 2 bullet points. The other 2 I've already done. We have a new part-time recruitment marketing specialist position in backgrounds right now. This is a part-time position, and they are going to help us with marketing and recruitment. So a pro staff employee that can get out and put some stuff on the internet, and can get us seen more than we already are. The PIOs do a great job. We all kind of marry up and get our word out there. You see it on the internet. But what can we do to get more visibility? That is what it's all about, is networking and being seen. And then our new professional staff recruiting position started this week. And that position will deal with our intern program and also work specifically on professional staff backgrounds, bringing people on board to be professional staff employees. So that's going to take the burden off our commissioned recruiters so they can go out to more events. So that's a tremendous accomplishment, and we appreciate everybody that made that happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have. Any questions?
Well, the numbers are up. Is there any particular recruitment tool that we think is working better than it has in the past? Why the numbers are looking so good?
Sir, I'll tell you, it is our recruiters. When I look at the annual list of our recruitment events, we're well over. It's actually just shy of 120, I believe, and they are out. If you look at the days that we actually work, that's a ton of events, and they're getting to a ton of universities. Just getting our name out there in the field is huge. And if you get I've said this before, but if you get an experienced police officer, for instance, from one agency, tell them to ask around. If they enjoy coming over and getting a nice pay increase, and everyone that I've talked to enjoys our police department. It's modern enough, yet still old school enough that a lot of veteran police officers really enjoy working here. So just trying to get that word around. For a while, we've been maybe put on the back burner to some other agencies, but now we can actually capitalize on some of the word of mouth that is kind of hot right now. So
we've also kind of cast a wider net.
Yep.
Our recruiters have gone to some military-specific events. As far as North Carolina, they've done Texas, which we've not done traditionally. And we've gotten several candidates. We have a couple of backgrounds right now that are from out state. So I think kind of casting that wider net has really helped us.
Good.
Absolutely. That skill bridge that I had mentioned a couple months back, it's a little bulky, but for military veterans that are getting out, the military will actually allow them to attend their academy training. The dance with our department and the military is how long does that last? It's a little bit of a time issue, but if we can get that done, a lot of it isn't on us. It's the DOD, the military. It's a little bit of a bulky item right now, but when we can get that done, that's really going to help us out too.
Let me ask you a couple of questions here, because I heard some contradictions.
Not for us.
It's not for us, it's for the tape.
No. My question though is, in the trend in the industry, everything that I've been reading from a human resource standpoint is that if you have a decent job, you should keep it. They're saying. So on the one hand, there's a shortage of jobs, and on the other hand, there are a lot of people look. So I'm confused. So what do you see as the biggest obstacle to St. Louis County? Because I agree with you. A lot of folks would prefer to work for St. Louis County than other agencies. But at the same time, if you look at folks who transfer from other departments, let's say they got experience, so that would be a good thing. But if the trend is that people that transfer don't really see opportunities for growth, why would they transfer? They'd rather probably stay where they are. So do you see that as being a hindrance of people not wanting to transfer, or people, saying, hey, it's nice, but I'm better off in this department than going to St. Louis County, and now I'm the low guy on the totem pole, and it'll take me forever to kind of grow?
That's a problem. A lot of people are just afraid to make the jump because, our 1-for-1 lateral is absolute. It's the best thing we have going, because when you can take your experience and come over here, and for instance, we've hired a couple police officers that top out on our pay matrix, and they might be making $70,000 where they're at, and they come over here and they make $92,000. So what's your job satisfaction look like? Well, right out of the gate, there you go. You get a big pay increase, and we do have a lot more opportunities than like I was talking about our hiring numbers for commissioned police officers. 61 police officers in roughly a year and a half is the size of some of the municipal police departments. So that's a tremendous amount of employees. So they are going to have opportunities for growth. They just have to take the step. And a lot of places offer these signing bonuses. And unfortunately, some people are like, I can go there for 5 years. I can get a $25,000 sign-on bonus paid out over 5 years, and I'm doing pretty good. I can factor that into $5,000 a year for the 5 years that I'm there, and I'm out. And they'll go job hopping. So it's a tough market. It really is. Workforce has changed up over the years. So just trying to get a hold of the right folks.
Do
So,
folks, and I'm just relating this to my own experience, moving from, like Monsanto to Anheuser-Busch to different places. And what happens is sometimes those new employers don't necessarily view your previous experience as being as valuable in your new employer. I'm assuming that if you all go through the pretty much similar academies, most of the officers around the region, if they transfer, you all would value that experience that's being transferred to St. Louis County. Right?
you look at what they do and what they've got. They're welcome. So.
Got it.
Anything else? Thank you all.
Thank you.
So we've set the over-under on Class 213 and 30. If anybody wants anything, let me know after the meeting.
I've always said that if you want a career in law enforcement, I mean, there's no better department than right here. I mean, we got every opportunity that you can have in law enforcement to work toward. And that's just what we are. I mean, if you want to go to St. Charles County, you immediately get a personal car. That's why we're losing some of the people. You know? I don't think that's been a big deal here lately. But when you look at the numbers, 61 police officers hired in a year and a half, that's an outstanding number for the way that this profession is going. And we've hired that many. Our problem is we're losing them at the same time. And that's what we're trying to convince the board of, the council of, when we go and sit down and talk with them about budget. They look at the fact that, yeah, you're hiring them, but you're losing them. And, we're probably going to face that hiring lag again. But what they don't see is the fact that in the last, 3 academy classes that we've had like at least 20 people in each class. That hasn't been done with this department in a long time. So I think it's getting better for the opportunities out there for us to hire more people. And again, you want a career in law enforcement, to me, this is just the place to be. They're working hard and doing the recruitment and hiring, as you can see with the numbers, but something that we have to do to keep them here. So.
Should we consider retention bonuses of some type? That at 20 years, you get a $10,000 bonus, 25?
We have that, yes.
Maybe we need to up it. No, just kidding.
Yes.
I know you mentioned.
What do we call that, that milestone? Yeah, we call it the milestone. You put in 5, you get so many, 10, you get so many. A lot of us weren't here when that was happening, so we missed out on it. And there's been some attempt by Captain Mondale for us to be able to go back and get that because we missed out on that retention bonus. But we're out of luck.
Commissioner Haslett wants to know, is there one for board members as well? 'Cause she's been here longest. She wants to know, is there a retention bonus? When can she expect that?
Exactly. Commissioner?
Well, you mentioned recruitment at some of the universities, and that's great. But I know, like back in the day, there were a lot of folks who, still don't want to go to college or whatever. They may want to go to community. Mm-hmm. Have we done much in the high schools as far as recruitment or getting them into the? Do you guys have a cadet? You guys have a cadet program, right? So how is that working out?
Yep. Yeah. So we just actually brought on another 4 cadets this week. But that program has been great, and I know Lieutenant Higginbotham touched on it last board meeting, but we've had several cadets that are now in the academy, which is great. That's our, that's our goal. Same with our internship program. We're looking to build that.
Great, yeah, because my brother went to the cadet program, and I know that's how he got there, and I just hadn't heard much about it. I see him every now and then at different events, but yeah, I think that is a great recruiting tool because,
we've also put in our process that, you don't necessarily have to go to college anymore with us to qualify. Okay?
Well, see, that was the point, I was making. I think, but I don't know how many kids in high school know that. You know what I mean?
We do several events and have some good relationships with the high schools and are out there. It's as early as freshman year that we're trying to kind of build those relationships with them.
I'd much rather see some of those top students come to St. Louis County to protect their community than to go to the military. And I think a lot of them are going to the military versus, looking at local law enforcement.
Military will take them at 18. That's one of the
We're
challenges
gonna
I think we
We're
have.
gonna start taking some at 18 also. We're gonna put them in on our security force to assist our security officers downstairs. And we're gonna start hiring them with the board's approval, of course.
Or even the
Age-
community
age
colleges.
18.
They go to community college and they get a couple of years. Yes, I don't know what your schedule is of recruitment at the universities versus community colleges versus 4-year institutions and so forth. But I just think we need to just broaden that net, as someone mentioned earlier, to try to capture more of these young people.
Okay. Captain Kelly, you're up for transit.
Oh, the handouts. Okay, absolutely. Wow.
Are they available for purchase?
Purchase.
I just threw that out.
I know the right person. Look at this.
All right, good morning again. They asked this morning to give an overview on the Division of Transit, or as Colonel Schneider calls it, the crown jewel of patrol. His words, not mine.
He said that last month.
Now when you told me about that other group. No, just kidding.
It changes.
So a few months back, maybe even last year, all the captains were asked to come up with a mission statement to give direction to their units, to their precincts or bureaus. So I sat down with my officers and my sergeants, and we worked on this together so that we could make sure that we were all on the same page. We had buy-in, that this was our focus, is to work cooperatively with the public, staff of Metrolink, within the framework of the Constitution to enforce the laws, ordinances, and Metrolink's code of conduct rules, to preserve the peace, reduce fear, provide a safe environment for riders and the staff of Bi-State's public transportation services. So that is our mission. That is our focus every day that we go out. We have a partnership with 3 other entities. St. Louis Metropolitan is part of the Bureau of Transit, St. Clair Sheriff's Department over in Illinois, and then Bi-State also provides the security components with their transit security staff, and they also contract with Allied Security Services. For our overview of just St. Louis County's lineup here, we have 1 captain, we have 5 sergeants, 24 officers, and 1 police aide. So each, we have 2 watches, a day watch and an afternoon watch, because we're not in a 24-hour operation. We operate the same hours that Metrolink does. They operate from 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. So the same thing that's our hours of operation. So day watch operates from 5 to 5 p.m. and afternoons operates from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. And that's something that we've recently moved over to as a 12-hour shift. Up until this year, we were on 10-hour shifts. This year, to mirror the rest of patrol, we switched over to a 12-hour shift, which also gave us some opportunities with that overlap, which is unique to other precincts. We have that overlap between day watch and afternoons from 1 to 5 p.m. So during that time period, we may have up to 12 officers on duty, which is our highest number of officers. Just kind of a brief show of the overlap structure there. What we do with that overlapping schedule is gives us the opportunities, bureau enforcements. That's just using our own officers. We can send them to areas if we have problems in a certain area. We can direct them to those areas and deal with that as a larger group. We can use that for training opportunities, in-house and outside. And during the month of June through August, every Tuesday and Thursday, we would do those bureau enforcements to make an impact on the platforms and on the trains We would take 12 officers and we would ride up and down the lines, and it made a big difference in our numbers. Obviously, just like every other precinct, the summer months are busy for us. As we look later on in this presentation, you'll see our numbers were consistent or even lower than most just because of the number of officers that we could put out there at one time. We also do special enforcements. We've been working with SRU, some of the other things, again, making an impact, bringing in those additional force multipliers, more resources from time to time. We cover 46 miles of train track, responsible for 38 Metrolink stations across Missouri and Illinois. There's two predominant lines. You got the red line that operates from Lambert to Scott Air Force Base, and then the blue line from Shrewsbury all the way down to Fairview Heights. In 2024, we had over 7 million passengers use the railway. This year, ridership is up. We've already passed 7 million people using it. Last year, just our workload, we had 3,000 calls for service, 8,700 self-initiated assignments. But the meat and potatoes is really the officers. These officers are out there in every type of weather, hot, cold, doing the train patrols, doing the foot patrols, getting out there. So 17,000 hours of train patrols and 26,000 hours of foot patrols. Looking at our stats year to date, just kind of going through the different months. Yes, we do have crime, but for the number of passengers that we deal with, the amount of officers that we have, our crime rate is very low. And last year we had a 100% clearance rate on all our crimes, including on our property crimes, destruction of property to a window here or something there. Well, there's camera systems. They've got more cameras than any place. We got over 3,000 cameras. There's no place on the line or the platforms or the parking lots that you're not on camera. Our officers know that, and we're able to utilize those camera systems to find our suspects. And then lastly, when we look at our crimes against society, our main focus is keeping weapons off the train. State statute and local ordinances prohibit weapons of any kind on the train. Obviously, after the horrible events that happened in South Carolina, I started getting inundated with the articles and videos and started researching it as much as possible. What could we have done? So there is no mass transit agency in America that has metal detectors. But when you do Google that, St. Louis Bi-State Metro does pop up that we're the only one that uses a roving metal detector from time to time. That's provided by Bi-State, operated by Bi-State. But we provide the officers to be at those checkpoints should there be any issues. It is a huge deterrent. We've seen it time and time again, people that will come on, appear like they're going to go through the metal detector, see it, and turn around and leave, which is what we want. Other than that, all the weapons that you see in that stack right there, we have taken off the train this year. Our officers are good at looking for it.
How did you get these? Were these from the metal detector or just?
No, these are from just officers doing hard work and seeing it. They have to go look. So the officers that are assigned to the courthouse, there's metal detectors. You go to Busch Stadium, there's metal detectors. You go to the airport, there's metal detectors. We don't have them, but we have to keep weapons off the line. So our focus, and a lot of these, they're not hard to find if you know what you're looking for, and the officers do an incredible job of doing that. They got extended mags, they're hanging out of pockets.
Wow.
The officers are looking for them, and God bless them, they're doing it safely. We're over 105 for the year. They've taken off without incident this year. They do a very good job. I'm very proud of them. And that's an overview. Questions?
Captain, the cameras you mentioned, where do they feed? Do they feed into our RIC? Do they feed into a metro station? How does that information then get?
Both. We have, is it federated? Am I using the right word right? We are federated between Bi-State's dispatch center, which has all the cameras. So we mostly use theirs, but our intel unit has the ability to use them as well.
And that information then gets fed out to our officers who are on the trains or on the foot patrol. Very good.
Can you give me a sense of how many officers each of those four entities provides?
Yes, I can. So we have 24. St. Louis City at this time has 2 officers, 1 sergeant, and a lieutenant. However, they use the ability that they have all the districts that can backfill and assist on those platforms in the city, is what I'm told. St. Clair, Illinois does a great job. They have, I think, upwards of 16 officers permanently assigned.
And the other question I had, Metrolink just embarked on a construction program to harden some of their facilities. Are we seeing any return on that investment as far as crime control?
Absolutely. I think that's why we're seeing ridership up. Before, you didn't need a ticket to get on, per se. You're supposed to have one, and that's one of the duties of our officers is to do fare inspections. They get on the train and ask to see everybody's tickets. The way the Secure Platform Initiative is developed, it is a hardened entrance. So you have to buy your ticket, then you have to go to these very tall gates, not like turnstiles like you see in the movies where people can just jump over them. They're very tall gates, all gated in. You got to buzz through with the ticket to get on. So right now, St. Louis County is the last entity. They believe that they will have all the secure platforms operational by December. But St. Louis, Illinois, they've already got theirs up and going. They're just the last beacon. So I think that'll assist us quite a bit.
It's obviously a policy question, probably not suited to you, but my hope would be that, given the new technology, that perhaps we can reduce that number of 24 officers assigned to the transit. I think some of those would be maybe better suited to some of our precincts. We only have one platform in St. Louis County, and to be 6 times what the city provides, I think we might have some hard discussions on that topic.
It is a hard discussion. We have reduced that number. I think initially we had 46 officers assigned to the Metrolink. How many you got now?
24.
24. And we just had a recent reduction not long ago. How many did you lose?
12.
12. So, yeah, and that is a tough discussion because you're talking about, the county executives dealing with those numbers.
Sure.
Security down there, but security, as you say, has gotten better.
With the overall operating budget for Bi-State is $335 million. Of that $335 million, St. Louis County tax revenue pays for $175 million of that budget. We pay half.
Well, thank you. Appreciate your information.
More questions, anybody? Great job with the weapons seized.
Captain, you up, sir?
Can't wait to hear what Captain Schneider or Colonel Schneider has to say about you.
Good morning, everybody, and
Morning.
thank you for having us. Give me 1 second here. Hang on. I might need some I might phone a friend for assistance here. Are they coming up? Okay, no, okay, all right. Yep. Captain Roediger, I'm the commander of the City of Jennings Precinct. We've had a police partnership with the City of Jennings since 2011. Our goals are to build safety, engagement, and community trust. I have a Lieutenant Justin Nichols who's unable to be with us. His father passed away last week. So please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. He's on personal leave, taking care of personal business. The total budget for the City of Jennings is $27,949,000, and the police contract is $4,165,000. Just an overview of the City of Jennings, there's 14,700 residents. It's a diverse community with strong neighborhoods. It's 3.7 square miles. It's compact and it's walkable. It's very urban. It borders St. Louis City to the south, and it has municipalities around it to the north and some unincorporated areas as well. 85% of the City of Jennings is residential. And we talk about this strong identity. It has its own school district, its own police department. and a lot of people that live in Jennings grew up in Jennings. So, and I also failed to introduce my number 3, Sergeant Monroe. Stand up, Sarge. I apologize. So he's one of my go-to guys and my easy button. He took Sergeant Dooley's place. He's doing as good a job, which is an outstanding.
Wouldn't everybody?
Those guys both do outstanding work. The police partnership overview, we have 1 captain, 1 lieutenant, 7 sergeants, 33 officers, and we also have a contract with the school district where we have 3 SROs. The sergeants in the precinct act as watch commanders as well, which is different from other precincts. So they have a lot of responsibility. Dedicated sergeants serve as watch commanders, providing direct leadership and accountability for daily operations in Jennings. Each platoon has 6 officers and there's four platoons. We have a neighborhood policing unit that consists of 1 sergeant and 2 NPOs. The neighborhood policing unit office creates lasting relationships through community and community-oriented policing and proactive engagement. So they do an outstanding job of keeping their finger on the pulse of the needs of the citizens, and they work with our municipal partners well in tackling any problem that they encounter. Our precinct detectives do outstanding work as well. There's 3 of them. They're task force officers. They're all deputized by the federal government, which allows them to present cases to U.S. Attorney's Office and other stuff like that on these big cases that involve guns and violent crime. That's another tool in their tool belt to help tackle crime. Crime statistics and safety. Our partnership approach has led to a consistent response times and proactive crime prevention. Property crimes remain our main focus with increased patrols in our neighborhoods. I'm big on response times. If you call the police, you want the police to show up. So we have the best response times in the county, which I'm very proud of. And on average, it takes our officers 4 minutes and 59 seconds to get to somebody's house when they call the police. Crimes against persons is down 11%, and crimes against property is down 11%. Moving on to stats. The officers do an outstanding job. They made 34 DWI arrests this year, and that's up significantly from last year. But two of my night watch sergeants are ex-highway safety officers, so I think they're giving guidance and showing these guys how to do these DWIs very well because they're really good at that, which I appreciate. Speeding, we've written 117 speeding tickets. We've written 1,862 citations, 453 summonses, 296 parking tickets, 322 warnings. The officers have made 402 felony arrests, 337 misdemeanor arrests. We've seized 102 guns, tagged 856 vehicles. They've responded to 18,623 calls for service. They've conducted 7,786 self-initiated assignments, and they've written 3,200 reports this year.
Well, hell, that's why the crime's down. They're working hard.
They do an outstanding job, sir. They work very hard. So the neighborhood policing office, I'll talk about this. We have two officers and 1 sergeant. We conduct regular walk and talks. We build relationships with the community that help us combat crime. And these guys do an outstanding job of knowing people. And it's a small town, and they know the citizens, and the citizens know them. And their hard work is extremely valuable to tackling any issue, whether it be somebody that next door that has tall grass or somebody that they think is selling drugs out of the house next door. So these guys do an outstanding job. Traffic enforcement is one of our main focuses, and Sergeant Monroe is working with the Highway Safety Unit and Special Ops to do special enforcement with traffic enforcement. We had 2 fatality accidents last year, and unfortunately we had 1 fatality accident last night. So he just did 1 special enforcement. I think we have 2 more on the calendar, but addressing traffic. That's one of the biggest complaints we get when we go to the city meetings is traffic. Our school district partnership, we have 3 SROs that work in the schools, and they do an outstanding job. They know the students. The students know them. They're approachable, and they build long-lasting relationships with these students that are invaluable. You know, it takes the stigma off the police a lot of times because these students get to know these SROs, and it's an extremely valuable position, and they do an outstanding job. And a lot of times if we have issues with juveniles, we'll ask the SROs to help us out because they know who all the kids are, and they can tell us and help the investigation. Unlike unincorporated precincts, I obviously have a layer of government above me. So we have the mayor and the council members, and we attend city council meetings monthly. I communicate with our municipal partners almost daily in reference to issues in and around the city and stuff they'd like us to address, questions and concerns they have, and making notifications to them. We also attend ward meetings. We have ward meetings on the weekends, and we'll send a sergeant and a neighborhood, just a patrol officer that's patrolling the neighborhood to these ward meetings. And the citizens like that a lot because they get to meet the officers. And they can bounce questions off of them and tell them about problems and stuff like that. And it's a real informal way to learn about issues in the neighborhood, but it works. It's great. So our goal is to build strong neighborhoods. We do that through proactive policing, resident involvement, and data-driven approach. We obviously send our crime stats out to all the officers. We maintain a sound desk book and try to share information so we can tackle any issues that arise, whether it's criminal or non-criminal. We make sure we put out as much information as possible to the officers so we can provide the best police services possible. Community engagement, there's Lieutenant Nichols riding a horse. And that was at the school jamboree. They had a back-to-school jamboree. That was an extremely successful event. It's an annual event. We participated in it since I've been here and before I got here.
Is that where that term comes from, he's as big as a horse?
He was happy. I was actually out of the country when this took place, but they said that he really wanted to ride the horse. And I went up there last year, and they had petting zoo and all. I brought my kids. It was a really nice event, and they had horses and all kinds of animals up there for the kids to pet. And they gave away backpacks and other school supplies, and we had a tent up there where we were giving away police stuff, stickers, and talking to people. So it was a really nice event.
You didn't take the bait.
Yeah.
We have a community commitment to Jennings. PAL has a big footprint in Jennings as well. Officer McCurry our Sergeant McCurry has the PAL boxing gym up there at Gary Gore. That's a really nice thing for the kids to go to. We host citizen police academies for our people with the North County Precinct. We partner with them quite a bit. We have an Explorer post that's out of the North County Precinct as well. We issue gun locks, we do walk and talks, and we work hard to build a strong, safe community in the city of Jennings. When I got to the precinct about a year and a half ago, I had a couple goals. I wanted to be the best precinct in the police department, and I wanted to make sure that the officers were safe and they were given the tools they need to be successful, and I think we're well on our way to that. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the best on record, but I try to be the best precinct in the police department. Morale is high, and the overall health of the precinct seems to be very well. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. I did a ride along a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
With Ron, I mean, it was excellent. I mean, clearly whatever you're doing over there, the morale seems to be pretty high. All the officers are great, the people in the community. I mean, I spent, I don't know, a couple hours, how long were we up there? And, but could you speak a little bit about, there's a special, I don't know, what was that called? That team over at the first precinct, they had a little special task force or whatever you call it.
Gateway Regional Task Force?
But could you talk a little bit about, because I think that was pretty impressive, because they come from different areas, right? Not just Jennings.
That's a regional thing that comes out of Jefferson City from the governor's office, and it's a Gateway Regional Task Force, and it's combating crime, and we partner with St. Charles County and St. Louis County and municipal partners in both counties to try to reduce criminal activity, and it's a big operation. And our guys participated in it as well. We also participate in the violent crime reduction at Dr. Page, Dr. Page's office, where we're trying to reduce homicides and violent crime. And that's a special enforcement followed up by walk and talks and community-oriented actions to try to solve problems and reduce violent crime in the neighborhood.
The guy who led that, he was impressive. I just wanted to acknowledge that the gentleman who led that talk, the group out there. What was his name?
Fumagalli. There you go. Captain Fumagalli.
Yeah. I mean, he was impressive, and they had a really smooth operation. I just wanted to acknowledge. I know you guys hear enough bad stuff, but this was really working well. That same day that I was on the ride was the day that those homes blew up over there. And we went over there to that site and, county police, they were there on the scene. They had everything taped off. The community was, I just thought your response was really great and on time. And all the people in the neighborhood were really satisfied and happy that you were there. So when we pulled up, you guys had everything under control. So I just wanted people to know that that was something that was impressive to witness.
Well, thank you, sir. We work really well with the first precinct and second precinct. There are two neighbors. They do an outstanding job. All the officers do an outstanding job. I'm very proud of them. I'm proud to be the captain of the precinct. They work hard, and I'm impressed with the work that these young men and women do every day and their ability to embrace technology, and they're really good at it, something I would not be able to do like they can do. And we have, I failed to mention, we have 45 RIC cameras in the city of Jennings. So that's a force multiplier, as everybody here is aware. And they do an outstanding job of alerting us to cars that are wanted for violent felonies, or if there is a crime, they can go back and look and assist us in our investigation. So it's definitely a great tool to have in our tool belt.
Well, Captain, I also wanted to commend you guys. I know I saw you at the Stiefel Charity Classic. You guys were out there for 3 days, and as far as I know, we had no incidents. We had a great presence there, no significant incidents with people. And that was 3 days of you guys really maintaining. And I know we had some protesters on one day out there, but you guys handled it very, very well. Not just you, but your guys and everybody else that was out there did a very good job. You also border a lot of the smaller municipalities around there. What's your relationship like with them and their leadership?
Closely with the small municipalities, we share information because crime doesn't know boundaries.
Right.
Crime from the city comes into county, and crime from county goes into the city, and same thing with the municipalities as well. So the detectives and the officers have good working relationships to the point where they know some of the officers that ride in the neighboring municipalities and are friends with them, and they'll communicate
Good.
through text messages or phone calls, or the detectives will talk to their detectives, and we share information because communication is one of the most important things we have to combat criminal activity and make the neighborhood safe.
Is your feeling that that Jennings is happy with the contract with us?
I think they are, but sometimes they say they're not.
We're not either with what they pay us, okay?
Yes, sir. They get a lot for what they pay, but they constantly complain to me about the cost of the contract because it's gone up about $1 million over the last 15 years. And I explained to them that it's inflation. They've threatened to seek contracts with other departments, which is their right to do.
Sure.
But the police services that we provide them are first class. And I honestly believe we're the premier law enforcement agency in the region. And the citizens there really appreciate the hard work that the officers do.
And then the last question is, what, in terms of what you need, your main needs, and is it people or additional technology, or everybody tells us what they need in their precinct. So now's your time.
I'm 100% staff, sir. So we have minor needs. Our building is in bad shape, but it's owned by the city of Jennings.
Sure.
So it's kind of a issue there. We could use, and I'm going to make a request for this, bulletproof glass in the front lobby. That would be the biggest thing right now. I think 'cause we just have plexiglass there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we have good equipment, good cars, and outstanding personnel and great leaders there. The
Great.
sergeants and lieutenant do a great job.
Glad to hear it.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have any questions?
Could you get us, I'm just curious about a price to replace that with?
Yes, sir. I'll have that to you ASAP. Any other questions?
Nope. I feel like somebody should have equal time about praise for Fumagalli.
I don't know if you've been on a ride.
Good guy.
Yeah, I think that some of those council members probably need to do a ride around out there.
And Sergeant Monroe's taking the council members out, and I've invited them to the RIC as well, because that's a real impressive operation as well, when you see how much coverage they have, and that's free of charge to the city, and what they get, and it's a force multiplier, and it just does a great job.
I do have one last question. Maybe Monroe can answer this question. So while I was at the deal, and they put the pictures up of the criminals in the area that they were on the lookout for. I guess they were looking for some guy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, at the roll call. How do you handle a situation where one of the pictures was a mother who had the gun to the head of her son?
Oh my God.
I mean, whatever happened with that? When I saw it, I was just like, how do you?
Well, you would,
deal.
if you knew where the picture was taken, you could generate a report if it was in our area for endangering the welfare and use that as evidence.
I mean, the person that took the picture, he'd easily get locked up. Gee.
And special operations and all of the other precincts help us out, and they do an outstanding job. It's a team effort, and I'm really proud of the work that everybody does.
And also the relationship you have with the school district out there. We have to give a shout out to Dr. Knight because she always looks out for us and has hosted us a couple times for balling.
Yes.
So we like that relationship we have with Dr.
We have
Knight.
An outstanding relationship with Dr. Knight in the school district.
Mhm.
The SROs up there do an amazing job.
Yep.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Captain, Sergeant, well done.
I don't know if your hours would submit you to, but you ought to come out tonight and ride with the enforcement tonight. What are your hours tonight, Sarge? If you want to come out and ride along, feel free to do so.
Not today.
Hit me up at 9. Hit me up at 9. Drop me off at 10. Okay.
Chairman, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Moving along our agenda, we have in our packet, and hopefully everyone has reviewed our minutes from our August 13th, 2025 meeting. Having done so, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Diana, I asked you the same questions I ask you every month. Under incoming communications, do we have anything?
No letters, no.
And outgoing communications? None at this time. Okay. Do we have any old business that we need to address? Nope. Under new business, we have some contracts. They're all police service agreements, and they go from A through M. Assuming everyone has reviewed same, is there a recommendation that we approve the police service agreements A through M that are presented to us?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great, thank you. Diane, do we have anything for the public forum?
No, I do not see anybody.
Okay. The Board of Police Commissioners may vote to go into closed session for legal advice and review of claims and lawsuits involving the police department, Section 610.0211 RSMO and Section 114.020.11 SLCRO to discuss personnel matters under Section 610.0213 and Section 114.020.13 SLCRO, and for discussions closed under Sections 610.02119 A and D RSMO and Sections 114.020.121 and 23 under SLCRO for discussions in which, if conducted in open meeting, would impair the ability of the St. Louis County and St. Louis County Police Department and the Board of Police Commissioners to protect the security or safety of persons or real property, and the public interest in non-disclosure outweighs the public interest in disclosure of the records. Is there a motion that we go into closed session?
Move that the board goes into closed session.
Second, all right. May we have a roll call?
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes,
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson? Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
we are officially in closed session. Thank you, everybody, this morning. We are back from closed session. There was only one vote taken in closed session, and that was to return to open, and it was unanimous. Secretary is not here, but that's what it was. And is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, roll call for it.
Next date?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, sir, for reminding me. Our next date will be, we're switching on a Tuesday, October 14th. Tuesday, October 14th at 9 a.m. in this space.
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes,
And Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
thank you.